What's going on, guys? Back here on the 82 Dodge van. So just let you know what's going to be going on in this episode. We're going to be customizing that engine mount that I did, so the AC compressor will fit on there. We're going to box it up. Also going to take out the broken exhaust stud. Going to weld that out of there. What else we got going on? Putting a fan on, putting belts on it, putting a idle tensioner on it. We're doing the crossover fuel rail and putting the floor in the driver's section. So let me show you the other stuff here. All right, guys, so we got the spark plug wires are now in. The fuel rail is in. This one doesn't have a return. The return will be in the fuel filter. I'll be using a C4 Corvette fuel filter. It's got the regulator and also the fuel return in that filter. So that's all done. And let me bring you over to the other side. And of course, we've seen the floor is all done. Showed you that, showed you underneath. Let's go over to the other side. Boom, all done. Crossover's on there. Everything's on there. Ground strap's on there. I do got to put one more ground strap on there, but that's no big deal. So, and like I said, the dry shafts will be going out this week. When you see this video, I'll probably be dropping off the dry shafts that day. All right, guys. So I missed that broken stud there. That one right there when I had it on the engine stand and everything. Did not realize it was broke, but I just put a weld in there, and I'm hoping I can get it off on the first try. Normally it takes me about 5 or 6 tries, but let's see what's going to happen. I have to get me a 13 millimeter. I forgot that. I'll give it a chance to cool down though. All right, guys, let's give this a shot here. This is going to be attempt number 1. And it seems to be working. Please don't break. And it broke. God damn it. So it doesn't seem to be working. All right, let me go get another nut. All right, guys, so this is round 4. So try this one. It wants to move, but then it gets tight. So I'm just gonna rock it back and forth. Please don't break. Please don't break. God damn it. All right, guys, so this is attempt number 5. I just soaked it down with some WD-40 and we're gonna rock it back and forth. I don't want to go full throttle with it because I'm afraid I'm going to snap it like I've been snapping it. So I'm just rocking it. Looks like it's coming out. I think I see threads. That looks like threads down there, doesn't it? Huh? Look like threads? It looks like threads to me. Oh yeah, it's a coming. Now we can pull it out. Oh, getting tight now. Let's soak it down some more. Drench that puppy. And don't rush it. You want to take your time with it. Just take your time. It's not a race. Not a race. Yep, I see threads. I see threads. I think we're almost done. It's getting easy to turn now. Oh yeah. Let me go get my air gun real quick. I'll hook it up. No. Let's just keep doing this. Very time consuming. It's like watching paint dry, I know. I'm sorry guys. But it's one of them things that has to be done. And we're getting there. Little WD-40 never hurts. Never hurts. Whoops. Sorry about my hand in the way. I try to do one big swoop of a turn, but that didn't happen the way I wanted it to. It's probably okay to grab by hand, but I don't want to get burned. I got burned enough already from welding. But I'm gonna try it anyway. Screw it. That's cold. All right, guys. So that's what you got to do. You just got to build it up in there. Back out. And just weld them on. Came out pretty good. Here's one of my fails. That was a fail. There's a couple other fails that are down on the ground somewhere. Oh, there's another fail. So I got another fail. I thought I had, there's one. Yep. There's another fail. So I believe it was the fourth or fifth. Not, yep, fifth try. Because here's the other fail. So I told you, it always takes me about 5 times to get it. And sure enough, that's 5. So let's see if this one will go in nice and easy. Boom. Easy peasy, guys. Easy peasy. All right, so now I'm going to put this exhaust manifold up. Well, first I'm going to put everything away, the welder and all that, because I am done welding today. So let me put that away and, yeah. And we'll get that exhaust manifold on. All right, guys. So I am going to have to cut that motor mount I made and also the mount on the frame here. So what I'm going to have to do is probably drill another hole into this frame here for this, because I'm actually going to come up pretty far. But I'm actually just going to take a little bit off, maybe up to here. I'm going to cut that corner off there, and then I might notch this one out to get the AC compressor on. I might be wasting my time doing that, but I don't want to. I want to take off as little as possible. So this is my template from the AC compressor. These are the bolt holes. One here, then that one here is a bolt hole. So I have to get it right here. There's really, the compressor ends right at the edge of that. So that, there's nothing that goes behind it. So that's why I put the line right here. So I want to trim out as much as I can and see what, not as much, but I want to trim out up to here. So I'll kind of do like a circle. Just like circle that and come back over this way. And then I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to take that mount out to do that. Then I'm probably going to have to notch this like I said. So let's give this a try and see what happens. Okay, so now the motor mount is now off. I'm going to put my template up in a minute, but I want to show you guys the motor mounts that I made. The other one's still in there. It's right in there. See where them 2 bolts are? It's right there. So these are identical to a point. They're same as this. I rounded these off, made them look nicer. These tabs and the LS motor mount came as a kit. I can't remember the kit, but let me show you what the other part looks like. That is the other part of the kit. All right, so that bolts directly up to the block right there. These ears here came with it. along with the bolt and the lock washer. Now these are a lot longer. They probably come down to about here. I think I took off about 2.5 inches, I should say. But I measured them up. I put the LS motor mount onto the block. I bolted these up. I cut this flat piece of metal. And what I did was I basically measured from here to here. Just added a little bit more, but not much. So I probably got maybe 1/4 inch extra on there. So looks a little bigger. It might be a little bit more. But anyway, so that's how I made it up. So the idea was to drill a hole here that would go through the factory bolt hole on the frame over there on the vehicle. And then here, once it's on and everything's all lined up, like the trans and everything, then I can actually run a bead, weld a bead right up along here. And that would be it. So if you ever needed to take this off for any reason, which I don't know, unless you're going back to Mopar again, you can just cut the bead off. That's it. So, but it looks like I'm gonna have to cut into that bracket too, but I'm not quite sure yet. So let me go take a look. So this motor mount is a 1/4 inch flat stock. So I got a sheet of it, not a sheet, maybe 12 by 12 I got. So so I have extra for other projects. So yeah, everything's all welded in nice and pretty. So there's my welds. This is a thick coating on here, so it's not scratch proof, but I'm gonna have to touch it up. Right back on here, I gotta retouch that up. But like I said, I gotta cut this up anyway, so I'm gonna repaint it. But let me now go and do my measurements. All right guys, so I put a little notch in it. I took this little section out here, and I will reinforce it, but instead of bolting it down, I'm probably going to weld my bracket onto that. So believe it or not, it basically fits on there right now. Just needs a little bit of trimming, not much. Like I can just get my little grinding disc and trim it. I'll show you. You can see right down here, right down there, I can, but I'm just gonna cut it out more. That's why I got my marker. So I'm gonna cut it out a little bit more because I don't want no flexing from the motor and smacking it and stuff like that. So let me trace out a little bit more and do a little bit more cutting, and we'll go from there. All right guys, so here is the passenger motor mount I had to modify. So I cut that off, then I trimmed it up a little, grinded it down some, rounded the corners off, make it look decent. So I had to take that much off just to get the AC compressor on. Then I had to modify the motor mount. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do here. So I opened it up, and then I have to have access to get that bolt for the compressor that goes through here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna insert a piece of metal in here and weld it so it'll be braced. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm also thinking about adding, because this bolt hole is gonna be shot, because that's real thin metal right now. I had to grind it down. So that's where my original bolt hole was. So now I'm gonna move it over to this side. Yeah, but then how am I going to, I'm gonna have to have an access hole in here. You know what? Screw it, I'm just gonna weld the damn thing. I'm gonna put 2 spot welds in here. I'm gonna drill 2 holes in my my mount. I'm gonna weld it in, but temporarily I'm gonna spot weld it or bolt it in so I get it all lined up the way I want it. And then I'll still brace this in with that. So I'll still have access to that bolt there. So that's how I'm going to solve that problem. I'll give you a better angle of it. So let me get going with my little template here and cut some 1/4 inch steel out. That's nowhere near 1/4 inch steel. This stuff is 1/4 inch is thick stuff. It takes a while to cut it. So, I mean, just look at this. That shit is not getting bent by any motor whatsoever. So this is double of what that mount is. So actually I might be able to use this if I could trim this up. Why waste it? Let me take a look. All right, so this is what the motor mount looks like when it's mounted up to the motor now and the frame. So let me pop this up here without blinding you. I gotta get some light in there. So I'm just gonna put it, I gotta fill this in to a little gap because this mount goes that way. I thought it went straight, but nope, it pulls towards us. So I'm just gonna run a bead right up along here, and then I'm gonna drill 2 holes here, spot weld them in, and then I'll run a bead, there you go, right along here, and then that back bracket there, that gets a bead at the bottom. You can somewhat see it down in there. So I'll show you on the other side. Right there. So that will get a bead ran across the bottom of it. So and then that motor mount will not go nowhere. But I'm not going to weld anything in yet because I still have to get the pinion angle right. So I want to make sure that the motor and everything's sitting like this right now. So I got to bring it up like that a little bit. So I got to mount the transmission up before I weld that in. So I'm going to keep it bolted in like that temporarily for right now. And let me mock up this AC compressor. All right, guys, so the gas pedal linkage has to go because we are using drive-by wire. So this can go and clean up the engine bay a little bit. Somewhat. Come on. Hard to do this with one hand. Hold on. All right, I got it loose down. Now it's off. Pop this in the van and done. All right, guys, I'm going to try and show you the clearance with one hand here. So I'm going to use my mirror. So I doubt, I don't know if you can see or not. Where is it here? And let me bend that out a little bit. Can you see that right there? So that's all the clearance I have. Just enough. Just enough clearance. So then I have access right here for that bolt. But now I got to build that little brace inside. So, but yep, that's all the clearance I got. That's all you need. So let me get making on that brace. Then you can barely see the back side of it. So, but it's all clear. Clear as clear can be. So even that bolt's clear. Got plenty of room. And while we're here, let's see if I can show you the cross member oil pan. See that? You got about an inch and maybe an inch and a half clearance from the hump to the cross member. So that, then you have at least one of my sausage fingers, I would say at least ½ inch to maybe an inch of clearance from the cross member to the bottom of the oil pan. Let's see if I can show you that. And if some people were interested in that, as we crawl up underneath here. So that is the distance there. Oops, sorry about this spinning. Let's see if I can show you. I'm trying to do this with one hand and hold the camera at the same time. Doesn't want to work. Come on. Nope. All right, that works. So, see, I can get my fingers under there. It's good. And I got some room, I can move it up and down. So, it's got plenty of room, front and back. Give you a peek there. You can see all that clearance. So, anybody wondering about the clearance? There it is. We have clearance. plenty of clearance. All right, guys, so I drew my first grade sketch of my template here. So I got my high-tech, state-of-the-art plasma cutter here, and we're going to take about a half hour and duplicate that so I can weld it in. Yes, so it literally takes probably about a half hour for that. At least I won't go through that wheel. That wheel is awesome, that cutting disc. I basically did all that crap with that one disc. Snap one. A little expensive, but you save a lot of money, believe it or not. So that one disc will last about a whole pack of Harbor Freight ones, if not longer. So with that said, let me get the plasma cutter fired up. All right, guys, so if you're wondering why I'm not doing any time lapses or anything, there's the part that goes to my camera, and that part's supposed to be in there. I glued it once and it just broke again, so that's why. So I gotta get another piece. Should be here in a few days, but it took me about 10 minutes to cut this out. So with that cut out, this is what I am talking about. See, I'm gonna weld that in just like that, and yeah, should work out pretty good. So it'll actually be a lot stronger because, you know, because it's a 1/2 inch. The other shit's only what? Christ, I don't even know. 22 gauge. No, maybe a little thicker than that. Might be in, I don't know what it is. Math wasn't my strongest subject. Nothing was. But yep. So let me get this welded in, and that'll be done. Yep. Sounds good to me. All right, guys, I actually forgot. I was going through his old harness and seeing what was on there and stuff like that, and I still have to hook up the starter. Yeah, so it would have been a lot easier when it was out, but you know, I gotta jack it off, put jack stand under it, and now I have to go install it. So I'll be right back, and we'll go on to more things that I forgot. Okay, so on this episode of Under Joe's Van, here is the transmission, the 4L60E. Got my brand new trans mount there. I'm trying to fix this lighting for you guys, but it's crap, so bear with me. So, oops, sorry. Joe got this cross member out of a newer, what do you call it? A newer van. So no modifications really had to be made. I had to trim up here so it would fit. I still got to jack that up a little bit and get that on there. Actually, I have to oval that out, I think. Yeah, that's got to get ovaled out a little bit. So little modifications like that have to be done. So the ears up top had to be cut off. There's a bracket on here on the back side I had to cut off so it wouldn't hit the trans. But if you look under here, trans mount goes in. I actually just had to lengthen that slot so it would go in. So, and it goes in perfectly. So, and I had to do the same thing with the trans mount just to get it back a little bit more. So, yeah, factory mount. Chevy, Dodge, custom slots. So that's all you got to do. But let me finish getting this bolted up, and I'm gonna get out from under here. I was under here all day today. All right, guys, so I'll break it up a little bit instead of working on the engine today. I am going to patch this floor pan today. So I'm gonna cut this rusty area out. I can't get the full floor plan. Yeah, that's the plan. I can't get it to sit the way I want it to in there. So I'm gonna cut that rusty section out. It's got those two spots right there. Then he has one in there, and it seems like it's offset a little bit. It's not quite the same, but it's supposed to work, and we'll see. I had to massage those out a little bit to get it fit better. So, like I said, I'm gonna cut that little section out right there, and then I should be able to set it in there and see where I'm at that point. So, I still don't have my tripod yet, so or my adapter for it. So let me cut that out, and I'll be right back. Made in the USA. Well, to let you know, I think the only thing made in the USA on this piece of patch panel was the sticker. I guess this is for 81 to 71. And back to 70, I guess they decided. I doubt it's a part number. Could be a part number, I don't know. But I'm just gonna say, it's the right piece, left-hand side for this van. It fits pretty good, except I trimmed it a little too short. That's not their problem, that's my problem. So, we'll get this in here to show you what I'm talking about. So this piece here was dimpled down. That's not there on the floor. That piece there was dimpled down. If you look here, you got like 1/4 of an inch from the floor that comes up. Well, this didn't line up whatsoever. So I have to finish trimming this and then connect it from here to here. From here to here, I got to connect. So I cut that piece out expecting to do that. So now, for my mistake, I got to fill in that gap there and that little gap there because these humps here were literally throwing me off. I got to hammer that down and get that right. But down this end, it fits perfect. Up that end, they put all kinds of dimples and all that crap in there. Why, I don't know. Yeah. So other than that, if I just had to replace from here back, it'll, you know, guys, from here back, it would have been perfectly 100% perfect. But all that crap there was all rotted out and all up in here. You seen a mess. So, but this is what I'm dealing with. I just have to get this tacked in, and then I got to tackle that. That's going to be my biggest hurdle so far. That's going to be worse. That's worse than me patching that little 1/4 inch gap up, or 1/2 inch gap, whatever you want to call it. So, yep, let me finish trimming this all up and everything. I got to run out and get some welding wire, and then I'm going to tack this up. All right, guys, so I'm back on this patch panel here. I had the doghouse on there. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right down along here, all the way down, and then I'm going to move this over just a hair. So that's what I have to do, because the doghouse, this is the edge of the doghouse here, and it's like sitting right here. So I just got to cut right on the outside, right where the screwdriver is there, just cut all the way down so I can move this over, and then that will give me some more room to pop that up on there. That's what I'm hoping for. Whether that's going to happen or not, I have no idea. So let me get to cutting and see what happens here. All right, guys, so that's basically how I'm going to have it. I just got to do a little modification and get that a little closer up there. But now I'm going to have to build my little bridge, or stand, whatever the frig you want to call it, just like this, going across up into there. So I'll probably basically use this. I'll just cut this probably like right along here, and then cut it up top here, and then hit it along down here, hold it up, and then spot weld it up on the top. So that's my plan. So I got this here so I can adjust it, because I have to make this a little higher. That's probably gonna fall if I twist it. Definitely got to clean that up a little bit. So I gotta get the screwdriver in here and just pull that up a little bit. So yep, so it's basically there. There's a little bit more cleaning modifications to do, and it'll be done in a few minutes for you guys. All right, guys, so I had a little bit of a change of plans. I got my little piece here that's going to go right in here. I had to make this from other shit. So that's going to go, I'm going to fit that flush down in there like that. That's going to fit down in there. Then that's going to go up there. And then I'm going to have my little connection right along here, which is this piece here. is going to fit like that, and then this here will go on top of that, so I'll have that little bridge. I guess you would call it, just like that one. So let me get this welded up and show you what it looks like. All right, guys, so I put some etching primer on it, sanded it down some. Every place that I weld it will be getting seam seal, so that's how I did that. Could be better, but brake pedal and shit was in the way. So yeah, I figured I'd redo the headers and shit too, because I primered underneath also. So that's self-etching primer. I'm letting that dry. So like I said, everywhere I weld it will be getting seam seal, and I will be seam sealing underneath also. So just to let you know. But that's how I do it. But next time you see it, I'll have seam seal on it and maybe some paint for more primer. I gotta put regular primer on first. That's self-etching. So, all right, guys. So I got the seam seal down. It's getting covered with carpet, so it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be pretty at all. So everything came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Once I let that dry, I'm gonna put the doghouse on it and show it to you. This does sit lower for some reason because this isn't the right floorboard, but it is what it is. Plus the doghouse is kind of warped anyway. So floor, fucking stink bug. You some bitch. Well, he's going to get evicted. But anyway, yeah, so the doghouse is warped. It kind of bows out more, but you put like supports on there and stiffen it up so it brings it back in. So with that said, let me show you underneath. And he's probably going to get stuck on the seam seal, that asshole. And I did the underneath. A little hard. I spilled some of it, had to clean it up. But I gotta get the backside tomorrow, and so I'm gonna probably take this wheel off to do that and climb under there. But yeah, with that said, let me get this friggin' stink bug out of here. Where the fuck did he go? Oh, there he is. Let me kill this son of a bitch. All right, guys, so this has to be the right color. You would think. It says Chrysler, so it's got to be the right color. So I went ahead and did the floor. So looks a lot better, more secure. I'm not going to leak. I seam sealed all the welds, and now I got to do the same thing on the other side. Like I said, I still got to jack up, and I'm probably going to take that wheel off so I can access right in here. So it'll be a lot easier on me. I already did the top. Then I got to put a nice good bead where that meets underneath. So I want to make sure I overdo that, because that's the best thing to do, is to overdo it. So and I'm also working on with my ADHD, because I can't do one thing at a time. I already drilled out the motor mount, so now I got to take that back off and I'll drill the frame mount out. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Not looking forward to it, but it's got to get done. So I already marked it. Pull the bolt out. Let's see if we can get this out. Come on, it's almost there. Just a little bit more. All right, I need 2 hands, guys, so I'll be right back. All right, with that out, that's where I have to drill. Not enough room to drill. So I'm going to have to use my 90-degree drill. And I think my drill bits are too big. So I don't know, maybe blow a hole in it with the plasma cutter. That's the other option I have. But let me see what I can do. This sucks. All right, guys, you know what I should have done? When I was mocking this motor up with the fake block, that foam block that I have, I should have put my AC compressor bracket and everything on when I did this, and I could have did this a long time ago. But now it's kind of breaking my balls. So I do have this 90-degree one. I had to jack the motor up, marked it, and then I drilled that. So now I have to step it up. I do have this shorty, so I'm gonna try and sneak that one in there now, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, so I had to work with what I had. So this went on an angle kind of like that, but then once I was able to get it in, straighten it out, I cleaned it all out. So with that said, the bolt now drops right in. So let me get my nuts going through the back side, put the motor mount on, drop this down, and bolt this sucker up, so that way I can send it off eventually and get the bottom ones welded in. And if they want to weld these in too, they can, but these are grade 8 US thread standard. And yeah, we're getting there, almost done for me. All right, guys, so the bolt is in, and my plan for when everything's settled and stuff like that, we get the dry shaft hooked up, I'm actually going to more than likely weld these to this bracket and the top up here. Still leave the bolt in there, not that's going to do anything. And then that back bracket that I made that sits in the back, that's going to get welded to the cross member. So that should be more than enough for anything. But yeah, looks good. So now it's time to get the AC bracket on and get that on there. Yeah, can't wait. What could possibly go wrong? All right, guys, so the AC compressor is now on. There's plenty of clearance. You're not gonna be able to see, but with my, you see down there, you can access the bolt. But with my mirror, I can put in there and I have plenty of room. The next thing I'm going to do is probably put the fan on, because I'm done with all this stuff. I'm gonna get this old power steering, the old cruise control. I'm gonna take that all out and yeah, go from there. So it's moving along pretty good. I gotta make a bracket for this still, but I want to see about other things before I make the bracket though, wherever the location is going to be the best bet. I'm also going to dig out the radiator support area. Like I said, I'll put the fan on. I should get a belt for them so I can get that put on also. Actually, I need an idler tensioner that goes here, or a pulley. Yeah. That tensioner goes there. I have one. Where did I do with it? It might be in the back of my truck. But yeah, so let me get moving on some other stuff. So I still have to do underneath here. I'm actually going to use rubberized undercoating for under that. I'll scuff it up, spray it, call it a day. I still got to do the seam seal. Still want to finish that seam seal like I spoke about earlier. And I got a bunch of little odds and ends I want to do to it real quick too. So as I move along, I'll show you what I'm doing. All right, guys, so this is the stuff I'm going to use for the rubberized undercoating. This shit is awesome. I use it on the Porsches when I redo the Porsches and stuff. So I have it all prepped up. I'm going to put about 2 coats of this stuff on there. And then I'm actually going to top coat it with that special Chrysler matching paint that I got. That lovely stuff. And with that said, I also ordered the idler pulley, so that should be here sometime today. And I have my belt and new spark plug wires. They're going to go on. Then I got to go to the junkyard and get a crossover fuel rail, because I have no idea what I did with the other one. That one's not working, so I'm going to have to grab one. And then I got a couple other little odds and ends to do. And yeah, that'll be it for now. All right, guys, so when all that other stuff is done, we got to figure out how to put this in, where it's going to go. You know, it's a little heavy, a little heavy of a turbo, but I'm thinking probably somewhere over here it should go. Yeah, what do you think? Put this back for a second. Yeah, keep that there for now. But turbo will be another episode. But right now, We gotta get all this stuff done. All right, guys, it is starting to look like a complete motor now. Not worried about the AC compressor fan yet or belt yet, because he's got to get a new one. That's not going to be too hard for him to do. Right up underneath. 4 bolts, done. Plus, you can take the doghouse out and reach over too if you wanted to. Give it a little reach around. But next thing I'm going to put on is the fan, and then I'm actually going to look into these hoses for them. For the power steering. I want to take a quick look at that stuff. So you don't have to worry about it. It doesn't look like it's going to be too complicated. Go from there to there. Figure something out. So let me get this fan on real quick. And after the fan, then I got to put the cross member in. So let me get to it. And boom. Just like that, fan is done. Oh no, I think we're running out of turbo room. Ruh-roh. Well, that ain't good. So I guess we're not going to be able to do that turbo after all. Because, you know, the radiator's got to sit here and stuff like that. Well, I am heartbroken. I know Joe's going to be heartbroken too. Because he's not going to get his turbo. But let me finish this up. All right, guys. So that's the undercoating that I put under there. So that's all good, and should seal it for another 50 years, maybe. I don't know, but it looks good. All right, guys, well, that's going to end it on this video. So you've seen everything I did. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, just drop it in the message, and I'll see what I can do to help you guys. If you're looking to do this swap into the Dodge van, this 82 Dodge van. So I'll see you on the next video. The next video will be coming out in about a week or so. That's a totally different project. I just got it, and that's going to be a fun one. So stay tuned for the next project. If you didn't hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you do that now. Drop any comments that you want to drop. And like I said, see you on the next video.